Spending is largely a psychological act that can have major consequences if you're not careful to balance. Not surprisingly, many people become victims of overspending. But what if there's a way to stop it? In this video, we'll show you how to retrain your brain and break the cycle of overspending. Number 1. Limit your access to money. One of the easiest ways to avoid overspending is to make it hard to access your money. Since spending has become so easy to do, the more effort it'll take to spend your money, the more likely you'll avoid spending altogether. This can be because you realize it's not a useful purchase or that you simply don't find the item worth the effort. Regardless of the case, there are a few ways you can limit your access to money. The first is to get rid of all automatic fill-outs on your browsers and phone. That means no instant buying on Amazon, Google Pay, or Apple Pay. Just the idea of having to get your wallet, get your card, and write down the information may already be enough to deter a purchase. Another method to take this even further is to make your cards, specifically your credit cards, very hard to access. You can do this by literally freezing the card in a block of ice, but you risk damaging the card. A good alternative would be to get a small box with a padlock and a key. Place the box in one difficult-to-access location in your home, and place the key far away from the box in another difficult-to-access location. This will increase the effort it takes to get your card, helping to deter purchases even further. Number 2. Don't shop when you're emotional. Most impulse buying can be rendered down to a result of a specific emotion, as emotions typically precede thoughts. That means impulse buying is buying with your feelings instead of your brain, and obviously that can easily lead to overspending. So, to stop overspending, you'll want to do 2 things. 1. You'll want to learn to control and manage your emotions, and 2. You'll want to know when you're being driven by emotions. This takes a lot of work, but the best way to filter this is to wait. Yep, by waiting at least 3 days, this is the number I like to use, before making a purchase. You'll easily figure out if a desired purchase was out of emotion or reason. Give this video a thumbs up if you avoid shopping when you're feeling emotional. Number 3. Avoid sales and discounts. This tip seems contrary to stop overspending, but hear me out. Sales and discounts are often designed to get people to spend on a specific product. Not only that, but it plays directly to the human response called FOMO, or the fear of missing out. When we see a sale, we have a strong desire to participate because we aren't sure how long it will last. So what started as a desire to save may suddenly become a desire to catch sales and discounts when they pop up, regardless of how useful they are. The simplest way to stop overspending then is to avoid sales and discounts and only stick to shopping for things you know you need. This alone will already drastically improve your spending, as you're likely buying things you probably don't need already. Did you find this tip interesting? Do you want to know more about it? Then subscribe to Investors Weekly, where we release a new video every day sharing the newest and best tips to help you stop overspending and save money. Number 4. Plan for big purchases. Big purchases are no joke when it comes to spending. These are things like a new car, a house, or any other expensive big-ticket item. Since these are major commitments, you'll want to really take your time planning the purchase to make sure it's a good one. In fact, the majority of your planning should be understanding exactly what you want out of the product as opposed to the product itself. For example, if you want to buy a car, take into consideration what you're going to use the car for. Do you need it to drive several hours on a weekly basis, or just for a short drive to and from work? Are you going to be traveling with a big load for things like tools or travel equipment, or just mainly for getting places? Once you've figured that out and narrowed down your options, you'll want to find the best model for the best price. You'll want to research fuel economy or how fuel efficient the car is, whether there have been any recalls on the model you're interested in, insurance rates if you can find them, and general thoughts from customers who bought the car. The more research you do, the more grateful you'll be, since you'll know you made the right choice as opposed to making an impulsive decision that's led to tons of overspending on a variety of factors. Number 5, make a list before shopping. This old trick is one of the best when it comes to limiting overspending, but there are a few facets that get overlooked to fully utilize this trick. Firstly, how do you even stick to your list properly? Just because you have a list doesn't mean you'll stick to it, right? This is going to take practice, so don't beat yourself up if you buy items outside of your list. What matters most is that you constantly remind yourself that you're only going to buy items on your list. To go further, reward yourself with something that makes you happy when you do stick to your list to give you more incentive. Secondly, how do you craft a good list? For example, how can you make a good grocery list if you don't even know what you're going to cook at home? You'll likely notice as you practice more frugal living habits to stop overspending that many habits layer, and when you layer them properly, saving becomes easier. This is a major topic that can have a full video, so if you're interested in us making a video about the psychology of making a good shopping list, let us know in the comments below.